Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for taking out time today. We are excited to welcome you to today's roundtable, online, offline, or blended. Where is the coaching industry betting big? Over the next 60 minutes, we hope to answer the questions that no one else is asking. Questions across growth, customer acquisition costs, retention, delivery models, and how AI is changing the game. I would like to now introduce our esteemed panelist. First of all, we have Mr. Vikas Kumar, VP at PhysicsWallah. Vikas leads one of India's most scaled education infrastructures, overseeing teams, operations, and delivery across formats and regions. His experience gives him a front row seat to how scale is built and how it's sustained in India's edtech industry. Next up, we have Mr. Ratik Gupta, founder and CEO at My Equation. With a 440 campus footprint built in under 5 years, Ratik is driving a outcome based, one of India's most demanding and overlooked learners group, core engineers. He's reimagining online coaching where depth and outcomes and scale don't have to be trade offs. Next up, we have Mr. Ajay Joshi, Chief Business Officer at Gravity Classes. Operating in some of the most competitive regional markets, Ajay leads growth and operations at Gravity, scaling in environments where conversation is hard won. Every channel needs to justify itself, and trust is built student by student and parent by parent. His perspectives comes from the ground up, rooted in execution and driven by strategy. Lastly, moderating this session is Mr. Vineet Tiwari, VP Sales at Lead Square. Over the last decade, Vineet has worked with dozens of teams from scale stage edtechs to national coaching brands, helping them navigate market shifts, solve for CAC, scale delivery models in way that align with their vision. I would like to again thank you to all our esteemed panelists for joining and taking out time for this session. We all are hoping to learn something new. I would urge all our attendees to put in their questions in the question box, and we'll take up their questions at the end of the session. Over to you, Vineet.
Thanks a lot, Ashna. And I welcome all the speakers today in the session. Uh, so education, I mean, especially the coaching, as a business basically has evolved and started with offline, then went online, and now, like there is a blended approach. Since we are talking in the end of July, so half of the year of this financial year, almost half is kind of it's over. I mean, 4 months are over, and we all have observed that in current situation, it is no one size like fit all anymore. Some are kind of like a doubling down on the offline method. Some are scaling the online. So to start with, I want to ask. So Vikasji, so what's your kind of like primary bet and why?
I believe he is not here in the session. I cannot see Mr. Vikash.
Is it okay? S- so uh, so we can go to Ratik. Ratik, so what would be your take on this?
Okay, this is actually a very wonderful question. And we have been hearing this from last 5 years now, since the inception of our startup, that what are you actually betting on? Is it online, blended, or offline? Well, I won't say I'm betting on some specific module or vertical. We would rather want to emphasize on what are we focusing on. And we are focusing on enabling people, provide them what they're looking for. These are just a modes. Being education is something which is the second religion after your actual spiritual religion. This is what I believe in country India. अगर माँ बाप पैसा खर्च करने के लिए दो बार पूछते नहीं है, that is probably one of the education reason that we have in our country. You are allowed to spend as much as amount possible in this country. That's what I believe in, and that is where we have a very huge scope of industry in India. A lot of players in COVID time got boom of the COVID wave, because of which we shifted completely towards the online mode. But it slowly dipped down when we saw again the people coming and recovering from COVID. This happened majorly because of the people wanting desperately to come offline and see each other's faces and meet to each other. Well, this was the same time that we actually built our startup. We transitioned and started completely online. we were very focused on empowering and enabling people, providing them values in terms of core engineers. And truth be told, we are still online. Our 95% of the business in COVID and today is completely online, and that is where we have been scaling out. So I don't think that there is an excuse for any startup to justify that. Well, we have not done wonders as of now. We are planning to do. So I'm not going to compare the journey with the big players like PhysicsWallah and the people who are dominating the industry. But soon, we are planning to be on the trajectory. What I'm saying is, if the process is right and the product is fitting to the requirements of the prospects, the customers and the mentees, uh, people hardly care about is it online, offline, unless and until we are adding value to them.
Perfect. Thanks a lot, Ratik. So Ajay, the audience would love to hear your opinion on this as well.
So first of all, thank you for having me here. I think Vikas ji is also here now. So see, a quick introduction. So, I was one of the fortunate ones who has seen this industry from a myopic view as well, and from as a very basic employee, right? The L3, L4s. Uh, I've worked 8 years in the online industry, the hardcore online edtech business. Uh, 3 years in proper conventional coaching, and again fortunate enough to start the hybrid model for BTC as well. So I can give you a very transparent and a very clear picture of what has happened in the last couple of years, where the industry is moving towards, and all the insights that I'm going to share probably would be largely data driven, right? So back in the days, the CAC was very less, as low as somewhere around 8,000, 9,000, 10,000 to acquire a particular customer. Uh, while we speak today, it has shoot up to as high as 60,000, 70,000, right? And this is a very big problem. So how do you navigate this? Along with, now this is the business side. Now comes the student side of it, right? The actual learning module, the learning outcome that edtech should be more focused on, right? So at this point of time, I really believe that it's not about uni-channel, it's the omni-channel strategizing mechanism that we need to focus on, and having a control on all the touch points. The workflows needs to be designed in a way where the online touch points, the efficiency is at its peak, the online touch points and the offline, the efficiency has to be at its peak. So yeah, this would be my take. It is a blended approach. It has to be omni-channel. It has to be a symphony of online, offline, orchestrated in a very beautiful way. And many of the teams that are there, right, needs to understand that all the conventional coaching they've already started, converting into the online or the hybrid model. So while we speak, 72% of the coaches who were operating conventionally, right, in the coaching sort of a ecosystem are already hybrid, right? So that competition is also building up. And with giants like, when I say giants, the content driven giants who have had a great user base, specifically from the tier one, tier two cities, they are doing great because the CAC is less and they can play around with their cost. So I think, yes, the blended approach, the omni channels would be the future here.
Thanks a lot, Ajay. So I will know. Okay, now we want to hear from Vikas ji as well. That what has been the primary bet for this year and why?
Okay. Thank you everyone for asking me to join over here. Um, Thank you to all our panelists as well. That let's have very engaging discussion over here. So coming to the question, see, we are into education space. Education space is kind of we are trying to build career of students. Now, if we are trying to build career of students, obviously we have to be as near to them as possible. Only then I think we will do justice to whatever we are trying to do. If I'm saying this, that we have to be as much near to them as possible. If you see, India is a very large country. If India is a very large country, I think very less percentage of students are being catered to at the moment with all these big giants. maybe whether that is through online or offline. See, online, obviously, there is internet, and we all understand the power of internet and YouTube. Through that, we are trying to reach out to lot many students as much as possible to the bottom most pillar of the country. There we are trying to reach. So online will be there. From that perspective, we'll see only if we are able to reach over there, and only then we can say that yeah, some the thing which we are trying to do we have achieved. Coming to offline space, if you'll see in the offline, obviously there are a lot of students. India is a very vast country. Every kind of student you will get over here. Somebody who want to have the feel of that classroom, that they want to chat with their students, only then they will learn. So in this vast country, there has to be blend of both offline and as online as well as offline. A single channel, it's very difficult for any kind of player, for anyone to survive with a single channel. If you want to grow in this space, you have to have both the channel, omni channel kind of thing to reach out to students. If you are not having that thing, it's the path is going to be tough for you.
Thanks a lot, sir, for sharing your thoughts on this. I will have a follow-up, kind of a question to Ratik. So, Ratik, if we have to, look at from change in the sales strategies, since you mentioned about like having an online and then having a blended approach as well. So, for you, in terms of in terms of uh, working out better, is it okay WhatsApp? Is it the calling solution? Is it the YouTube or the webinars or something else? So from a sales standpoint, like what is working out better for you?
Okay, I'll definitely answer this question, but I want to applaud Mr. Vikash actually. He did mention that for we to develop the career of students, we have to be very much associated with them. We have to be near them. And that is what even we believe in. Because I was an engineer myself, a core engineer, when I was graduating from SRM college. And I started the startup when I was in my third year. So we were pretty much relating to the situation of the engineers that was happening out there. Unlike the other edtech players in the industry, be it all the giants who have been having a plethora of subjects under their umbrella, it was medical, it was engineering, it was non-engineering, and a lot of things started because they were scaling at a different level, because they were projecting at a different level. Things started to happen so quickly that I believe, this is my personal opinion, that respective people from niche industries started not believing the brand as they were supposed to be. We understood this problem, and because of which we today and the day we started are very much crystal clear about who are we targeting to. We cater to core engineers, and that is what I do. When I say core engineers, I don't even include major IT and CSE branches into it, because we have Scalar, we have Groovy, we have other brands for that who are into pretty much DS and all of it. Talking to your understanding, what you are looking for the scaling issues, we we focused very much to bring mentors from direct industries like Toshiba, Alexa, Hyundai Robotics, all the big brands under our umbrella, under our brand. And we wanted students to have a first-hand experience of what these mentors are teaching exactly in the industry. Truth be told, since all of our people here are from different backgrounds, in India, to change the curriculum, the education curriculum, it takes years and years. We have been learning the same patterns of aptitude, same patterns of questionnaire, and, and, and same way of answering those questions. Well, the world is moving very fast. We are in the industry 5.0, and we wanted ourselves to be very much equipped and adaptive for that. And that is where we believe the game changer move for ours was that we were always in the pursuit of bettering our curriculum, bettering our product values, and to bring big brands on our platforms. That is what I believe worked for us. That is where we focus majorly on for scaling.
Thanks, Ratik. So Ajay, okay, what would be your take on this?
See, we are into an era, it's not specific for edtech. The strategies of sales are changing for everyone, right? So, with so much of automations, innate and workflows changing, uh, the different layers of sales, right? You need to somehow replicate the repetitive task with certain automations, and this is the reality, right? But how do you make these pivots? How well do you make these transition so that the core of edtech, that is the human empathy, the final closing and everything, is intact. At the same time, the LTV is increasing, and LTV is largely the factor of the kind of relation you have, not only with the teachers, with the entire ecosystem in general, right? The business development team, the other operation teams and stuff, because it's a complete student cycle. For us, what we did, I'll give you a snapshot, and this would probably give more light into this particular topic, because strategies are changing and they are changing every single day, right? And but what is very important is the first principles. The first principles are always intact. You need to ensure the connected calls are high. You need to ensure the demo bookings are high. You need to ensure that the conductions are happening, right? But how do you do that while implementing these automations? So I'll give you a scenario of our small experiment that we did. We started the top of the funnel that we had. We applied WhatsApp automation bots, right? And we were building the persona here, customer persona. While doing it, what we realized was, I mean, our bookings, I mean, we used to have a lot of cancellations in the booking, and everyone who is here from the EdTech fraternity, they would understand it, right? Cancellation is a big thing. Then again, the connected call, the kind of time, the kind of value-based time a customer engages with the BDA or the counselor is again a very important factor. Whether we are able to narrate our story well or not. So what we did, we started using these bots, these automations on the top of the funnel. Now, basis this, a lead which was designed, let's say, right lead reaching to the right BDA, we started seeing this outcome, and hence our conversions started spiking. So we work in a very competitive sort of a industry, right? We are a conventional coaching institute trying to uplift ourselves, trying to grow into markets where we have never been. Now, in this sort of a scenario, using automations in different layers, changing these workflows while intacting your first principle, I think this works, and this should be the way ahead as well. So I hope this answers your question. There's too much of your nuances to it. I do not want to somehow uh, give some trade secrets here, but eventually this is how it is, right? Automations on every layer of your funnel. This will definitely give you certain spike in your results for sure. Yeah. Am I
Great. Yes, yes. Yeah, you're audible. Great. Thanks a lot, Ajay. And so audience, I think Asna has launched her first poll. So I would encourage everyone to kindly, you have to opt an answer out of that poll. So participate in the poll. Uh, so okay, so moving to the next section. So Vikasji, in your rich experience, you would have observed a lot of like models scaling up and stumbling as well over the past few like years and decades. So from your vantage point, what actually drives sustainability growth in 2025?
Okay. So I'll tell you one thing. Actually, this is whatever I'm going to say. I think a lot of people will relate. Maybe people are from different industry. They will relate. If you are into some business, obviously the customer, or in our business we are servicing our student. Obviously, we will have to take care of them. If you are not at their core, it's going to be very difficult. Today, whoever is successful in their journey, in their maybe in their journey, whoever is successful in their journey, If they are at the core, customer, or in our case, student is at the core, we are going to be successful. Having said that, obviously there are a lot of things, in the online space. If you will see, content is the king. Content kind of, the content has to be engaging so that people or students, they should be engaged a lot, whatever you are providing to them. That there, if that is there, obviously if there is some lacking in that, it's going to be very difficult for people, who want to survive in the market. That is one thing. Second thing, if you see, in the education space, affordability kind of thing has become a very big problem. If you will see the whole journey, whether the journey starts from maybe, from the KG students to the top tier students, the affordability has always been an issue, and in last 5 6 years or some sort, it has become an even bigger issue. If we are into this space, the one who will solve this problem, they are going to be there for longer period of time. And obviously, whatever you are providing, obviously there has to be a distribution channel that has to be managed efficiently. Only then, you can be over there. Last thing what I'll say, since I think all of us are from edtech, technology is there in that edtech. If you will not utilize that technology, AI is the space everywhere, people are talking about AI. If you will not use that thing into your product, into your servicing your student, you are not going to be there in the market for longer period of time. So what, according to me, what is going to drive success in the near future? Obviously, the tech is going to drive that thing. But having said that, tech will be there. We will try to adapt. People will try to adapt. The three basic things which I've said, that the content has to be there. If faculty is teaching many students, obviously the kind of content which he is providing to the student, that has to be super class. Affordability has to be there, and obviously the distribution, that already I have said, that as closer to the student as possible. Those things has to be there. Only then you can move ahead in this space.
I do have
Thanks.
one, yeah, if you allow me to, I do have
Yep.
one add-on to
Sure,
this.
sure, sure. Please go ahead.
Okay, I have a very mixed opinion regarding the same, the question that you asked related to sustainability. One, we have to really understand a basic journey, a lifespan of a person. They initially start from kindergarten all the way to they start learning to 10th. Eventually, they are in the pressure of learning about going into IITs and IITs, because of which we go into Resonance, Ellen, Bansal, PhysicsWallah, Akash, a lot of other brands. The pursuit starts over there. Once we are done with that, we have to be in the pursuit of getting a better college. Once we're done from first to fourth years of engineering, then we're always in the pursuit of getting a better job, and we always want to switch it better, to a better role. I believe that AI is definitely the future, but it has to be limited to clear the confusion rather than we replacing humans with AI. What I'm saying is that for a person to get equipped with the culture, the knowledge, and the lifestyle that they're requiring, eventually, when they end up into their mid 20s, later 20s, by then, players like us, all the players, all of us play a crucial role in different stages of life of a student or a candidate. We would have to use AI to reduce these confusions. That is what I feel. Instead of replacing altogether all the mentors and
I
the process of the
I
learning.
just I just want to add on to that. AI can't be kind of they are going to replace anything. They has to be friend of a student, or maybe they have to friend of faculty. Only then you will utilize it in a much better way.
Definitely.
Correct. So one point, of course, we are going to talk about AI as well in the coming like section. But one point I could like figure out is basically the use of it's like AI is to be as an enabler, okay, rather than as a replacement. Basically, it has to improve the efficiency of the people, the productivity of the people, the efficiency in the process, etc., and the experience overall. And with this, so Pratik, so I have a follow-up, so I have a follow-up kind of question to you. You started, uh, you started in the COVID, right? And then so there was, a high wave of edutech, and there was an kind of all-time low in this. So how did this like shaped up your approach in terms of like what is the best practice that you should follow as an organization? How should you adopt to the new technology, the approach, etc. All that. If you could like share your experience, it will help all the audience as well.
Uh, Definitely. This might take a bit longer than the usual answers that I've given. So sorry, the panelists and the people hearing me out. I will try to keep it very short. First of all, I have been a failed founder, is the reason I'm standing in front of you. Today, it took me courage and confidence to be here to express my gratitude toward the industry and a lot of people who have helped in the journey. To all those founders, and to all the people who thinks that founders are always just a success material and they're just meant to be successful, well, that's not the case. uh, we started in COVID. That was by chance. We transitioning to today who we are is because of the efforts, constant understanding about the industry, and also a bit factor of luck. I believe that I'm not gonna lie about this, about the success that we have had. It's not just always about the hard work that you have had, it's also about a bit of luck that you get with the time. Things did work out very well for us in COVID time, and we had the biggest dip once the COVID got recovered. The soon as the wave one got finished off, half of the college started opening in hybrid model. The other half started happening once the second wave was recovered. By this, I was at the verge of bankruptcy. We were at the verge of bankruptcy. Our company was at the verge of uh, completely shutting down the processes. And we did realize that the same things that we have been doing in the COVID time, the other brands were doing, who are bleeding now losses, to all those edtech players in the Bangalore who are bleeding massively. The losses is because they had a lot of things on their plate and on their platform, the multiple kind of subjects, the multiple kind of curriculums, and the offerings for a vast variety of people. We did something unconventional, which was a very riskier move. We limited our products, we limited our market, and we went very niche into core engineers. The idea of our startup did not started from just core engineers. It got transitioned and pivoted time and again to understand that how are we different than any other startup in the space of edtech, is where I realized apart from upgrad, there are a bunch of players which I would not want to take this podium to name them. Bunch of people who are catering, very limited people who are catering to undergraduates and core engineers necessities. When I say necessities, it can be two, three stuffs. One, getting them a better job opportunity. They not wanting to switch or think masters as an option. In our country, MTech is considered as to be an option when we don't succeed in BTech. That's the reality. I'm talking about the stats and data. And apart from this, if we do not even go for MTech or we do not land into a job, we always have the option of MBA. We know nothing out of anything, we'll go for MBA. Papa, we have money in the bank of our fathers, we'll go for MBA. We want to think about a better job, we'll go for MBA. This is what has been happening. We did realize this problem and change our strategies, hit the people the right way. We I'll be proud to say that still till date, 35 to 40% of our business comes organically. That is where we do not spend on CAC value. As Mr. Ajay said, I'll add on to Mr. Ajay. Ajay sir, the CAC value is going to keep on increasing the soon and later we go in the time. It's now doubled or tripled. It'll keep increasing unless and until we go organic. And that is where big players like PhysicsWallah do have a lot of money in the bank, so they can operate into the hybrid and omni-channel model. That is the way to succeed, I believe, now.
Okay, on the CAC thing, I would like to add. Actually, see, um, you are maybe you are into your startup journey 3-4 years down the line. Whenever you will be in your startup journey, if you will focus on the CAC part, it will be very difficult for you to take that growth leap of growth, which any startup expects, that we need to grow very quickly. If that is there, if the expectation is there, obviously if you will focus on that thing, it is going to limit your growth. CAC part will always be there. It will come maybe in the second half of your growth journey. If you will try to focus on the in the first half of your journey, it will very difficult for you to grow.
Very true.
True. Well said. Like on this, Vikasji, and so moving on to Ajay. So Mr. Ajay, you have been operating in a very highly kind of it's like very highly and competitive, it's like ground market. So what does the growth execution looks like for you?
So see, you have to understand it from a perspective that in today's age, we are running a business which has 90% of it is what is conventional, right? The proper coaching segment. 10% we are growing with, let's say, 490 million. We are trying to tackle that 490 million YouTube base, around 80 million WhatsApp current active people, and trying to scale in a way where, see, for us, profitability, everyone chases something, right? PhysicsWallah, yes, they chased growth and the results are there in front of everyone. Rachit would be chasing something. We are very clear on something that we want to have a sustainable growth with profitability being one of the core metrics, right? For us, every second batch of any new coaching that we start has to be profitable, right? Now, how do you do this? In order to do this, you have to understand your audience very well. It's a very competitive market. You have to understand. I'll give you an example. Let's say Lucknow, right? Now, a tier 2, somewhere between tier 1, tier 2 city, I'll still call it tier 2, right? Tier 2 city with, let's say, a coaching student base of around 24,000 students from the city and few coming from, the other feeder network that we have. Now, how do you ensure that your story, that is Gravity's story, is reaching out to the end customer? In order to do that, you have to spend a bit in terms of the online, the meta ads and stuff. Meta ads, what they were in 2019-20, today they struggle to give you the same efficiency, and everyone would be knowing this, right? Now, what we do is we have introduced a very beautiful part, elementary part, and I'll take some time to introduce this, and probably this would be interesting for the audience which is here as well. Now, we calculate and analyze 5 core matrices, and this is basis a story which Aristotle told Alexander, right? Back in the days, Aristotle told Alexander while he was going to, conquer the world that, look, son, you are not going to win this entire world just through your sheer power. You would require the combination of these 5 things: ethos, pathos, mathos, logos, bravos. Ethos, the authority. For us, the authority is the selection rate. We proudly claim that we have batches where 39 out of 39 students cleared the world's toughest examination, that is JEE Mains. We have that story, and this is across the batches, right? So that story has to be narrated well. Then the pathos, the emotional part, right? And humans, we are emotional animal. How do we ensure that the pathos is being delivered in the right way? How emotionally we narrate that story? Then the logos, the logical part of it, and we all being the business analyst and the strategist know what to do, when to do, how to do it, right? Many of the customers, they won't buy your who you are, what you do. They will buy why you do what you do, right? So that logical part needs to be explained in the right way. Then comes the mythos, the stories, the metaphors, right? And finally, the bravos, the final ending. Now, the funny part and the beautiful part of this is we calculate everything in a post-sale pitch, and Lead Square has been a great help here. So kudos to the team who has been there and helping us out in creating these processes. If I tell the same thing to someone else, probably they won't be able to analyze everything in a data pointer. But we used to calculate this. Is in a post-sale audit, the very first thing that we do is the authority being maintained? Is the emotional quotient being established or not? Is the logical part is being explained or not? Do the counselors tell about our teachers or not? So this entire journey, right? This is still true for everything that we do. Now, what we do is we have these AI agents through N8N, which we have built internally. Now, this is a very interesting part. I heard Rachit mentioning that, automation won't replace humans. I really see this is what everyone is telling everyone, right? And to be very honest, India is a huge country. A portion of India's GDP is the outcome of a lot of outsourcing that we do for multiple giants, right? Now, today, let's say, for example, a small example of Indian ecosystem in terms of the online penetration. 490 active YouTube, 490 million active YouTube subscribers, right? The users, around 390, 380 million active WhatsApp users. How do you manage this? What sort of a team size you should have? I'll give you a very funny and again a very interesting example from our experiences back in Gravity, and Lead Square again was a very pivotal part of it. And thanks to everyone from the leadership team who was there helping us around everything. So we used to be the sales team at Gravity across certain centers used to be around a small team of around 55, 56 people, right? With few managers and senior managers. Now, using these automations and using this inside analysis from the data, they also came up with a product called Sera, if I'm not wrong, right? A beautiful tool to give you all the insights. AI is a compass and we are the sailors, right? AI is still a tool and it has to be treated like a tool. So if we use that tool well, today we are operating the same centers that we operate in Lucknow. I was giving you the example of Lucknow. It's not more than 12 people. The revenue is same. Obviously, we have downsized on the number of, the expend. So our OPEX is decreasing. CapEx to a certain extent is decreasing. We are expanding globally. Again, keeping one thing inside, that is profitability. And yes, that is something which we chase. And through data insights and through these storytellings, it's very easy to at times play around with your competitive market, because it's a capitalist world. People with huge money will always try to overpower. But if the story is right, if the results are right, and if you execute your plans well across the levels, across the hierarchy layers, I really feel that magic is bound to happen, and it happens. I've seen that happening for multiple of the organizations. We are trying to, execute the same thing here. It's a work in progress, but I'm very positive that with the right execution, competition, it's a healthy thing to have competition. To be very honest, they set benchmark, we try to achieve them. So this is how it is.
Thanks a lot, Ajay, for sharing very interesting insights. An audience, a thumbs up will help us if you are like enjoying the conversation, and there is a it's like learning and takeaway for you. I would encourage you to share a thumbs up. And okay, moving on. We so I want all three of you to answer this, and we can start with Vikasji. So Vikasji, in your view, where is the center of the gravitating shifting when it comes to the student growth? Is it the metros? Is it non-metros? Or these are the returning learners?
See, metros or non-metros. Obviously, after COVID, a lot of things have changed. We have pivoted maybe from online. Now people are shifting back to offline thing. Um, Obviously, metro will drive the growth, but for any organization, growth does not lies over there in the metro. If you want growth, I think tier 2, tier 3, tier 4 cities, we have to go over there for the growth. Obviously, it's not like we have to go over there through offline thing. I think if you have built a distribution channel in the online space, that is also sufficient enough to reach over there. But yeah, if you have built that thing over there, but the thing which you are providing to your students to engage them, if you have cracked that thing. So I think the growth will come from there. People will come to you, reach out to you. See, initial also I have said that we have just barely touched that surface. We have to go deep down to reach that level of whatever we are trying to achieve. And to achieve that, you have to go to them, not through offline, maybe through online, utilizing the power of internet, utilizing the power of YouTube, all those things you have to do. So the growth will come from there only, not from the metro. Growth will come from there. Having said this, I think, see, um, if you look at the user, what kind of students India is having, you'll see a lot of organization is working that we should provide content in the form of maybe in different language. Right now, every study is being provided, edtech is providing education through maybe English or Hindi only, or maybe combined English. That's it. We are not focusing that much on what the regional language. That is one thing. That is one space. I think a growth lies over there as well. That in the regional language space. Apart from this, if you see a lot of companies, we are trying to figure out what other alternatives can be there where revenue can come. Regional space is one thing. Maybe different kinds of boards are there. If you reach out to students from those boards, that is one avenue of growth for any company that can be. So there are multiple avenues of growth which people should try to achieve, and obviously that is achievable. Having said this, the basic principle that you have to, the student has to be at the core, should be at the core of every organization. Only then you will be able to achieve that thing.
Thanks a lot, sir. So Ratik, your thoughts on this, please.
Okay. Well, it's been just 5 years to, I believe 5 years are not enough to give better answer on this, but still what my take is, what we have understood about our business and the kind of prospects, customers that we have, tier one cities, be it like metropolitan cities and near to metropolitan cities, like emerging cities like Ahmedabad and all of them, now they are also coming under the criteria of metropolitan. If I talk about the top 20 cities like such, it is very easy for them to adapt on online basis, the kind of preposition that we provide them on the table. I believe that it's very much easy to penetrate these type of customers online because they do have a good social media engagement and awareness about the social medias. But as soon as we come into tier 2 and tier 3 cities, which includes a lot of remote areas, a lot of places where accessibility to internet is still a issue. I'm not saying that these people are not connected with the internet, but a constant follow-up check about the awareness on the internet is still an issue. And since our majority of business has been coming online, we would have to create a lot of awareness, number one, over there. And this awareness could not be could not be online. It has to be offline, where we have to go organically, dive deep into their concerns, know about their geography, know about their culture, know about what are they going through. That is what I believe, targeting to tier 2 and tier 3 in our business. And most importantly, I don't know it is a prejudice or a stereotype, but I guess other experts will be better to tell this. Initial startup, early stage startups under 7 years do have a huge ticket size challenge collection from tier 2 and tier 3 cities, because of which the you always, as a founder, you always have concerns and pressure, not just from CAC value, as Vikashji said, the first half, but also the sales number, the onboarding prospects number, customer number, and there are 10 other challenges as a founder you always gonna have recurringly. To keep up those healthy numbers, to sustain in the market and to have better propositions in upcoming years, I believe that for an early stage startup like ours, it is easier and most efficient to be targeting tier 1 initially. And eventually, I will completely agree to Mr. Vikash what he said, that money comes from tier 2 and tier 3. That is where you have disrupted the market. That is where you have made a brand presence. because these will be the followers, the late majorities after the early adopters coming from tier one places. We have a long work to do. So I have just not even scratched the surface of it. So we're gonna have to have a lot of hands dirty into this space where we understand the flavors and the ways how to penetrate, how to actually add value for tier two and tier three cities. I come from a tier two city myself, so I can feel the pain for those people.
Perfect. Thanks a lot, Pratik. So Ajay, is it metro? Is it non-metro, or okay, these are the repeat learners for you? So what is like working out well for you?
Tell you a very interesting, uh, you know, insight on this. So we have operated from Bangalore as well, and we have been operating from Lucknow now, right? And 70% of the kids in India, they come from the school goers. They come from tier two or tier three cities, right? It's a huge chunk. The quantum is huge there, and there are certain insights. So we were working very aggressively around this particular domain. We wanted our presence and results, stories of our results, to reach out to all these tier 2, tier 3 cities. We collated around 134 pin codes around it, did a small research, just LinkedIn based research, Instagram based research. And there is one term that we have evaluated and encapsulated here, and that is the Padosi effect. Many of the decisions that happens in the tier 2 and tier 3 cities, and it's a very interesting stake, right? So the Padosi effect, that is the neighborhood effect, plays a very important role. If I am A and a couple of friends of mine, B and C, are going to a particular institute, right? It can be a hybrid institute, it can be an online institute, it can be a, an institute. So the chances and the probability of A going to the same school shoots up exponentially. Now the campaign, the marketing campaign have to be derived in a different way, right? Again, similarly, tier 2 and tier 3 cities, the vernacular regional language and the community based approach that we should be having there shoots up, right? These hyper local communities, they want to be taught by someone who speaks the same language. If I am a, a teacher who speaks Bengali and I'm placed at a city in Andhra, I not be able to perform to the best of my capabilities. So these are beautiful insights that one needs to encapsulate before making these decisions. What the giants, when I say giants, I mean the let's say PhysicsWallah is a content machine, right? With operating with 81, almost 81% fan pages. So I was going through a report where majority of the traction comes from the fan pages as well. They have their regional pages as well, right? And while we are speaking, these guys are doing it. There's a beautiful saying: in order to predict the future, create the future, right? And start living in that future. So PhysicsWallah is already doing it. We are trying to do it. That is the goal. That is the future. And it's, I mean, I was reading somewhere, this is going to be by 2033. It is going to be around 17 to 18 billion dollar of market. And how do we ignore such a big market? We cannot. All we need to do is we need to strategize, implement, follow the processes, core processes, and this is where people like you will chip in and help many of the ethics to grow exponentially. And this is the future. So I really think the tier one is a niche, right, which has been tested again and again, again and again, again and again by multiple of the organizations before, right? And tier two, tier three somehow were ignored. And I'll also see, I'm in the best interest of time. I'm sure we are left out with 10 minutes, I guess. So
Yes.
tier 2, 3, the changes has to be, the decisions have to be very much data driven. The campaigns, the marketing campaigns have to be data driven. And this is what we are trying to do. Yeah.
Perfect. And in the interest of time, as you mentioned, we will like go to the last kind of section and the questions. I want this to be answered by all the speakers, and like all the audience would want to understand, since we like touch base it's like briefly uh, upon AI as a feature or as a tool. So the question is, where does AI genuinely create value in the operations, And where do you think that the humans should kind of continue to call the shots? So we can start with Mr. Vikash.
Okay, AI. AI. Everybody is talking about AI, artificial intelligence. Everybody is talking. In fact, in my day-to-day journey, also I interact with a lot of people who know a lot about AI. And if anyone is following news, every alternate day, every other day, some new things are coming. A lot of organizations, they are trying to invest a lot of money into this. So I think this is kind of this technology is kind of it is kind of going to bring generational kind of shift across industry. And if yeah, the use of AI has been seen in a lot of other industries like medical industry or some those kind of industry, it has far more reaching consequence over there, impact over there in those industry. In our industry, in education space, obviously, mm, AI, the AI has to be kind of friend to everybody in the sense to faculty or to just give me 2 minutes. AI has to be a friend of everyone. If I'm saying friend, see, faculty, obviously they are teaching, but the kind of material which they are providing to student or kind of learning space which is being created for the student, there is वो traditional kind of learning जो हम लोगों ने पढ़ा है, हम लोगों ने सीखा है. But maybe we'll say our teacher used to that's their way of teaching. But since we have progressed a lot since last 10-15 years, now if you say to your kid, okay, learn this way which we used to learn, they're not going to learn that way. Why? Because they're learn that the same thing in a better way, in a better engaging way. So what is driving in the market? What is being driven in the market? That AI has to be the supporter or enabler of faculty or of operations process. And there, AI has to be see. We are teaching students. There is one thing we are providing material. We are providing teacher is taking class. What can be another? Another thing is they are also having doubt. A lot of students have doubt. I see use of AI over there in a very big way. That the doubt of students. See what we have seen in the industry. A lot of people, a lot of students will not come to you to ask doubt. Well, they will not come to teacher. They will not ask doubts. But if we see that AI can fill up that space, AI can be over there. Students can come the to that platform and their doubt can be solved. That is from a student perspective. Now if you see from organization perspective, in organization where AI can be utilized, obviously a lot of people will talk about there are repetitive process. Um, agentic AI can be created. Agentic bot can be created and they can solve those repetitive processes, repetitive workflow. Those things are there. Those are very common thing which everybody understands. But if you will go deep down the funnel, you will understand that we should consider AI, that yeah, please help me resolve this process, solve this process. They will be there. Having said that, people in the organization, if they are not learning AI, if they are averse to AI, it will be very difficult for them to kind of survive for a very longer period of time. So that is the word. AI is the word. We all should adapt to think, um, and then let's see how AI progresses over there in next 2-3 years.
Thanks. Okay, so Ratik, your take on this. And
Okay.
we are also kind of in the last 5 minutes of this session.
Sure. I'll keep it very short. It's a very ironical situation for us. We are in the field where we expertise in teaching robotics and AI, but we are humans, so we are allowed to make mistakes despite we are teaching robotics. I believe that AI should be in the back end, but not in the front end, like agentic bots that Mr. Vikash has mentioned. AI should be used by businesses or for an individual to increase the productivity and efficiency rather than being on the front foot and being on the front face for the same. Lastly, I believe that as Mr. Vikash told, and I am able to relate it because I studied from resonance myself during time when I was in my 11th and 12th. Human interaction is still going to be a crucial place where the ethics should realize they can use AI as their assistant. They can use AI for enabling a repetitive work, because when you are having a lot of human to human interaction operations, you cannot scale it on a major level because of the involvements of a larger workforce. To streamline that workforce and to avoid those repetitive works which can be done by AI is where I believe that we should use AI into the scaling a business. And that is where I believe Lead Squared is deviating the initiative towards, because they have been working very well with the AI to help enable startups like us.
Thanks a lot, Rathik. So Ajay, your take on this, please.
So I'll try and encapsulate it with a very data-driven metrics, right? Since we are at the end of this conversation, and it has been a great and fruitful conversation, especially for me. I've learned so many things from Vikas ji, Rachit, and you. See, there's a student side and there's a business side, right? When it comes to the student learning outcome, right, there are three pillars of education: motivation, doubt creation, and doubt solving. Motivation, AI cannot help the kid to be motivated. Humans, their parents, their teachers, they have to be that role model here. When it comes to doubt creation and doubt solving, obviously there are layers of agentic AI which will be very helpful, and this will be the future. So, in fact, this is the future. So, this is the student side. When it comes to the business side, so again, I'll encapsulate it in the four data matrices: LVACs, that it leads, walk-ins, allocation, conductions, and sales. Lead generation, absolute use of AI, and this is something which will be a game changer. While I'm speaking to you, there is an employee which is working for me, which is not asking salaries, working 24 into 7, and still generating leads from all the LinkedIn accounts, from the Instagram account. And this is happening real time right now while we are speaking, right? So lead generation, absolute yes. Walk-in generation, there you will require the presence of humans, because at the end of the day, you need someone to have that human touch, that perfect spices into that biryani, right? Then the allocation, you need managers to allocate right lead to the right person, because they understand the human quotient much better. But again, AI will play a very important part here. This is the allocation part. Then the conduction part, AI can never replace it, right? This is for sure. Conduction means the sale part and everything, the 60 minute, 70 minute, 80 minute, 90-minute session that we do with the parents and stuff. Here, it's an absolute requirement of skilled people with a lot of charismatic personality. This is where upskilling is very much required, and I think startups like what Ritik is doing, that will be very crucial in the years to around it. And the last one happens to be the sales part, right? So again, it's a factor of all these things. So I think I have encapsulated it in both the sides, that is the business side and the academic side. AI is the future, but how do we upskill ourselves, learn these things so that we can, have that leisure time, we can paint, we can sing, so that there are people around who are doing things for us. At the same time, our productivity increases. I think this is the lens from which I see it right now. While I used to write for hours and hours, today I can use my GPT to do that thing and still enjoy my family time while the business is not being compromised. So I think AI is making lives better. Let's put it this way, and this would be my take on it. Yeah.
Thanks, Ajay. Thanks,
Just,
Rathik. Thanks,
just
Vikash.
I want to add one thing to
Sure.
the use of AI. A lot of organizational people will correlate to this, whatever I'm going to say. It's not related to any education space. It's like, see, earlier days, maybe 2, 3 years back, whenever you used to write an email, it would be just 2 line or 3 liners email.
Right.
But right now, what I'm seeing, people are writing whole paragraph for just communicating simple one liner message. I have seen this change.
Very
I am
true.
noticing this. Whenever I am getting a mail from even maybe somebody who has just joined the organization, or maybe they are just starting their career, they're also writing long paragraphs. You can understand the use of AI. Basically, it is
Very
changing
interesting.
people in a better way.
Correct. I mean, this is very interesting and very true as well. It is happening across. But thanks a lot, all of you. I mean, this was a very interesting and very insightful, like discussion. So Ashna, we crossed the time for question and answer. But if you can extend for 1 or 2 more minutes if you want, then we are open for the question answers.
Yes, yes. Maybe I can just take up 2, 3 questions. The audience, I think, has been like extremely engaging and they've shared like a lot of questions. But maybe we can, since we are out of time, we'll pick up few of the questions. Okay, so Laveen from audience wants to understand, how do you balance growth and quality when your model heavily depends on few rockstar teachers? What are some systems or processes you can build to reduce this overdependence? Ratik, Vikas sir, Ajay, if anyone wants to take this up.
Is anybody taking?
Shall I?
Sure.
Please.
So I narrated a story around that ethos, pathos, levas, mathos, bravos. That is our audit thing. So what we do is, there is a beautiful parameter of auditing which is always there. After every class that ends, there is an audit parameter. See, academics has to be engaging. It has to be interactive. And in a generation where the attention span is so low, the dumbest animal on the planet is a starfish, right? Today, humans, our attention span, because of that scrolling disease, is as low as somewhere around 12 seconds to 13 seconds. And this is a study which is from Pennsylvania, right? So we are degrading, our focus spans are going down so much, so that kids today, my wife is an art therapist and she works with kids, right? So I see it real time. Kids, it's very difficult for them to focus on a particular thing for larger than 20 seconds, 30 seconds, 40 seconds. How do you expect them to be very much attentive over a class of 1 hour? That is practically impossible. This is where these polls come in, this is where these interactive things come in, right? And then the learning outcome is being derived. So yes, I think having these parameters at every core thing is very important. And yes, there will be certain teachers who will be able to extract more of our interest. There will be certain teachers who might not be able to do it, but having a right data driven answer to it is very important. Yeah.
Am I allowed to add
Yes,
on to
yes,
this?
please, sir.
I'll take it short. I completely disagree to the person who has said this to scale up. Mr. Alak Pandey started just from one person, and today he has made it into a unicorn, PhysicsWallah. If the process is right, if the focus is completely non-deviated, I believe that it can be easily scaled. And the question was, if I'm not wrong, that you have limited mentors and you still are wishing to scale. Uh, I will add on to Mr. Ajay as well. Always keep your hero mentors intact with you. Set up the SOPs accordingly, and the way we mentors train to a lot of mentees, there should be a mentorship training program for mentors also to set up upcoming mentors. And this is what recently we have been started doing. I have faced this problem 3 years back when I had very limited mentors and we were not able to scale up because of them not being able to have new batches. Well, I believe that there are a lot of people who love mentorship to mentor others, but just they need to be guided and with the proper data sets. That is what I believe in.
Thank you. Anupam Ghai wants to understand, what could be the potential strategy to target HNI clients while maintaining the customer acquisition cost apart from online mode?
It's not my expertise, so I'm out.
It takes, in order to get that data, I mean, take investments from them. That is something which I would say. So why would you create a niche for HNIs? If you want to, then it has to be highly interactive, it has to be highly engaging, and probably you sending one of your best teachers to their home would be the best answer to that, right? Otherwise, how do you target HNIs?
I think I want to add to this. There are a lot of people who works in embassies.
Right.
They come back to India for the study. I think that is one space which any organized player is not targeting. There are a lot of students in that space. Maybe this is the space where nobody is trying to solve them, because when they come to India, they have a lot of problem, maybe culture problem. They want to pace up with fellow Indian students. They face a lot of problem. That is one space, I think, which has not been filled till now. Maybe some organization can fill up that space. Maybe the one who has asked this question, if you want to be the entrepreneur, you should target that.
Absolutely. From the question, I think he is looking into that dimension, and I'm sure he'll be able to do it because this is a very niche and a very segmented thing. I wish him a lot of luck.
No, I believe Vikashji is trying to find out a new vertical business under the PhysicsWallah here.
No matter, they will be live tomorrow probably.
Yes.
Okay, let's move away.
Okay, I'll take up the last question. What are the best performing channels for enrollments that can be scaled globally?
What is the question? Can you please repeat?
Sure. What are the best performing channels for enrollments that can be scaled globally?
Could you clarify enrollments mean the paid or the unpaid registrations?
It
So,
could be sources,
think-
lead source.
yeah.
Lead source.
So basically, the question would be around uh, customer acquisition. So when talk about enrollment, it is more on customer acquisition front, student acquisition basically.
To me, answer is very simple. If you're aiming directly for global, and if your MVP is really very much ready, and you want to go directly for the first time itself globally, meta ads is all what you should look out. It is going to bleed. It is going to have a lot of cost of acquiring customers. I mean, cost of acquiring customer, yes, high, very high. But if you want to go very fast, this is what it is, unless and until it is optimized.
Sure. Anyone
I,
else?
I would have a very different take on it. And this is inspired by the gentleman, Mr. Vikas, and his organization here. In order to have a scalable customer acquisition platform, creating a content machinery which bombards the user one after another, one after another, one after another, so that even when you use your meta ads, because see, meta ads will give you a platform, it will give you the visibility. Now, sales and leads is a factor of trust. How do you get that trust? You get it through a content engine, a continuous content engine, right? And this is where I think PhysicsWallah has done a tremendous job, and kudos to the entire team. At times we shy away, at times we shy away from our competitors, in complementing. I'll be very upfront because the kind of content machinery, the kind of content engine these guys have is exponential. And I'm pretty sure once you have this, your CAC would always be on the lower end. You will have this profitability quotient going every day. Growth will be inevitable. So for the gentleman who was asking this question, it will take time, but eventually at the end of the day, what you need to do is create a content engine which will be a trust factor for your customers in the days to come.
And should also have money to pay your mentors and content creators.
Okay. Can I add something to it?
Sure.
Okay. In the global space, if you see, if you are in edtech space and you want to target your customers globally, I think from my perspective, you will see it's kind of wrong statement. Why I'm saying this? Because every country or they have their own setup of education. If you want to have similar kind of thing for global users, it's not going to serve their purpose. If you want to target them, obviously you will have to go to them, go to their country, and understand what is the use case over there, and content or anything related to that, targeted to that, will help you. It's not going to help you that one shoe fit across the world. That's not going to happen.
Yeah, that's what I meant. I mean, having something for the user to go back to. It can be
Yeah.
their pedagogy. It has to be their pedagogy. Absolutely.
True.
So if I'm targeting Canada as a country, I need to follow their pedagogy. But eventually, at the end of the day, it's the content which is the winner, right? And so that's what I was mentioning actually.
Yes, yes, yes.
Thank you for the corrections, and I hope it would be a correction for the audience as well. Thank you, sir.
We are on the same page.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much to all our esteemed panelists for taking our time for this. I am sure our audience found this session extremely helpful. And thank you so much to all our attendees for joining in and sending your questions. I am sure we have missed out a lot of questions, but we will try to answer them and we'll try to reach out to our panelists and share as much responses as we can. Keep following Lead Squared for more such insightful sessions. Thank you so much, everyone, once again.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
thanks everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. It was a pleasure.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you.